Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining. Now, in today's episode, we're gonna virtually, because we missed out on the Saturday night press conference because I was too sleepy. Just cover down. I fell asleep. Okay, so I missed out on the Saturday night press conference, and I don't usually do a Sunday night press conference. So we're gonna do the Saturday night and the Sunday night press conference all in one. Okay, so we're gonna go through all the games that were on Saturday and Sunday, and let's see who caught the eye, okay, and which one were the spuds. Let's find out. We go to the North Melbourne and the Freo game. Okay, now let's start from North Melbourne first, and I want to start first with Tommy Powell. Now, scored 129 Supercoach points, 13 kicks, 15 handballs, 5 tackles. The only thing that concerns me here is the 9 contested possessions. Okay, now I'm not a big fan of that. I like my players to have, like Sherry, 13 contested possessions. I like to at least, well, if you look at it, Wardlow only had 10, so it's not that bad, okay? But I prefer a high number like Uniac, 16, okay? LDU went 16. I like my midfielders to go nuts at 16. However, Tom Powell, if he was a midfielder, all right, I wouldn't be interested, in our Supercoach team as a midfielder. But because he's listed as a forward, things change a bit because we are lacking key forwards or decent forwards in our forward line. Now, let's have a look at Tom Powell's heat maps. Now, we go to North Melbourne CBAs, and let's have a look at last week. We had 88% for LDU, the ruckman there, and then second in line was Tom Powell, 76%. Then Wardlow at 63 and Lazaro at 53. So there was the 4 of them sharing. Well, this week, things changed. LDU had 83%. Tom Powell at 93%. Now that's massive. Okay, 93%, and then next is Sherry, and then Wardlaw. Virtually, there's nobody else. Okay, you got Lazaro 14, Simpkin 31, Zerha 7. So virtually the main man is Powell and LDU and Wardlaw. There's 3 of them. Now, who's missing in North Melbourne's midfield that can take the spot of Tom Powell? Well, there's only Phillips. And I don't think he's going to take Tom Powell's spot. So Powell has got that midfield lined up, okay? It's all his. Now, let's have a look at his heat maps. Have a look at Tom Powell's. Go Supercoach. And we go to where he played. Like, last week he started in the forward pocket, it says, and he scored 95, but he didn't really play forward pocket last week. He played in the midfield. Okay, that's Tom Powell's midfield. That's a pretty good map. Okay, that's brilliant. He scored 95 in this game. All right. Now let's have a look at this week. What did he do? Heat map. Again, this is even better. All right. He's running back, running to the wing, he's chasing the ball. Even going to the forward, kicked 2 goals. Okay, so this heat map is really good, and I can almost say if I can get this heat map, all right, in round 22 from Tom Powell, he'll be a top 2, top 3 midfield forward for us. So at 300k, getting a primo in your team is like a present. It's a gift from Supercoach, and you got to take the gift. You don't say no to it. Tom Powell, going by this heat map, going by his current role, is a must-have. Probably the biggest a bigger must-have than Heaney right now is Tom Powell, okay? You have to get him. Now, in this score of 2 goals, take them off, okay? That's probably 20 points, maybe even 30 points. Sometimes they give you extra. It depends when you kick the goals, okay? Let's just say 20 points. Gives him a score of, say, 110. Let's say he scored 100. That's still okay. That's good enough. If he kicks no goals, he can still go at 95, 100. We're happy with that. We'll take it. So Tom Powell is a lock, especially at 300k. If he was 500k, I would probably still pay the dollars and get him. Okay, so he's probably not as good as Flanders, but he's good enough. So it's a lock. Now, Sheasel is another lock. If you don't already have him, you're going to be in big trouble. Okay, so Sheasel is another. Now, North Melbourne is a team full of locks. Okay, the whole team's a lock. Just come it down. Now, Sheasel, we have to get. Okay, so another lock. Now, Tristan Sherry. This is an interesting one. He scored 108. Had 30 hitouts. Actually, Luke Jackson had 21 hitouts. Sherry had 30. So Luke Jackson, as a ruckman, is very good. Now, had 7 kicks, 12 handballs. That's 19 possessions. That's huge, okay, for a ruckman. If you look at Jackson, he had 24 possessions. Sherry had 19. He's not far off what Jackson did, except Jackson did it better. Okay, that's the only difference. Jackson took spectacular marks, kicked 2 goals. Jackson did the fancy stuff, all right? But Sherry is not far off doing the good stuff, just not the fancy stuff. But he's still getting that 19 touches. 6 tackles. Jackson had 5 tackles, okay? So I'm not saying Sherry is better than Jackson, okay? I'm not saying that. But I'm saying Sherry is very good. 13 contested possessions, okay? Jackson had 15. You can see the workload. They're both working hard. So Sherry at 400k, I'm really liking him. And I actually like him more than I like Grundy. And Grundy is now 500k. Sherry appeals to me more. He does the things. He plays like a tall rover. Okay, Sherry. He's in that midfield. They give it to him. They're not scared to pass it to Sherry. He's very agile for a tall man. So I really like Sherry as a ruckman. Now LDU, we know LDU. He's a Jets. He scored a 105. Okay. Now could have easily scored a 130. He's a 105. That's probably his floor. Okay, 105 because Tom Powell took the show. But LDU is a Jet. All right, so we know that. Wardlaw went at 102. He had a good week last week as well. I think. Let's have a look at Wardlaw. Now the thing with Wardlaw is that he scored a 102. But his floor is very low. It's a 69. He scored 69 last week. And when you pay about 300k for him, is not good. Okay, you're paying too much money. So Wardlaw's a pass for me, only because his floor is too low, and his ceiling is not too high. Okay, so he's sort of stuck. He's in no man's land. Virtually, the price that he's priced at, he should be priced about 400k, but it's not. It's not premium level. So I'd probably pass on him. Now we go to the Fish. Okay, now he scored a 101. We got rid of the Spud, all right? But he had 18 kicks, 7 handballs. The problem with the Fish is we saw his floor. It was very low. And now if this is his average game, it's good. A 101 is not bad. You're paying 400k for a 101. But when you got Powell and you're paying 300k, Powell is a much better option. And now the Fish can hold that spot if he's going to go at 101s. Problem with the Fish, and even we go here, he went at 80%. Last week he was very low. So if his kicking is off, we have a problem. Okay, so with the Fish, I got rid of him. Okay, if you've got him, you might as well hold him now. Okay, if you got rid of him, don't worry. Okay, you haven't missed out on much. And now going down. McKercher, 14 kicks, 8 handballs. Now, why would I get the Fish when I can get McKercher? Okay, 22 touches. He's virtually got the same role as the Fish. Okay, so they're virtually doing the same thing. McKercher, very good option. I didn't start him. I was planning on always getting him, but I wanted to see what his role was. Same as Harley Reid from West Coast. I didn't start him either. I wanted to see his role. Now, with Harley Reid, I'm not going to get him. His floor is too low. Whereas McKercher, he seems to be very consistent. A very good kick. Goes at 90%. Now, this is good. Okay, not many players can go at 90%. So that's excellent. Actually, better than Sheasel going at 80%. Although Sheasel had 35 touches. That's the difference. But still, McKercher having 22 touches at 90% is unbelievable. So, lock him in. Now, Lazaro, 66. He got subbed out. he was actually going okay. That's the funny thing. So if you've got him, I think you've got to pass on him now. If you traded him out, you would have been bleeding when you saw his score. Then he got subbed out, so it was actually not worth it. He's a sub risk, so is it not good? Now, going down, we have Pink. I was planning on getting Pink in this week in my backline, but speaking to a few North Melbourne supporters, they're telling me that Pink, job security, not secure. Okay, so I don't know what to think of Pink. Okay, that actually rhymed. So with Pink, if you get him, it's not bad, okay? But it is a risk for his job security, according to the North Melbourne supporters that I spoke to. Now, we go to Freo, okay? Now, Luke Jackson, we talked about him before. He does things that no one can do, okay? These spectacular marks. But then again, he played North Melbourne, okay? In North Melbourne's defence, who is there, okay? Jackson kicked 2 goals, okay? North Melbourne's defence, who do you have? You don't have anybody, okay? You've only got Pink. That's all they got. They don't have the tall defenders, okay? So North Melbourne struggle in defence. Luke Jackson was always going to have a big game this week. I didn't expect it to be this big, but it was big. I was expecting a 140, okay, I'll be honest, but 178, that's massive. So, Jackson did everything perfect. If you've got him, you're very happy. You're a very happy customer. If you don't have him, and you're planning on getting him, let me show you something. Now, this is Freo's injury list. It was updated on the 19th of March. This was a week ago, okay? It says here, Sean Darcy knee, 3 weeks. So now this will be 2 weeks. So Sean Darcy's 2 weeks, 2 more weeks of missing footy after this week. Well, I don't know if it includes this week. So 2 weeks anyway. So 2 weeks is not far away. It's virtually round, round 5. Okay, so, or round 4 even. Okay, it depends. I'm not sure what 2 weeks is. It could be around 4 or 5. So even if it's round 5, Sean Darcy comes back. So you're going to get, where is he? Let's go over here. You're going to pick up Jackson. If you pick up Jackson this week and you missed out on him, it's round 3. You're only getting him for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Then what are you going to do with him? He's going to make 50k, maybe make 70k, all right? Are you going to then trade him out? Because he's going to be top dollar. He's going to be maybe 620k. Then what are you going to do with him? So it's a risk. Jackson's always been a risk to get him in, because once Shrek comes back, Jackson's going to be forward. In the full forwards and a bit of ruck. He may still go at 100, okay? He could probably still average 100. He can also average 80. All right, let's have a look at his history as a second ruck. Let's have a look at his history. First up, I've put up Sean Darcy from last year, all right? So Sean Darcy's played from round 1 to round 11. Okay, so we take note. Then he's played from round 15 to round 18. So 1 to 11, 15 to 18, all right? So let's go to now Luke Jackson. Okay, I have to remember, 1 to 11, 15 to 18. Okay, now let's have a look at Luke Jackson, 1 to 11, 15 to 18. What has he done? 1 to 11. He's got some big scores in there, all right? 1 to 11. All right, so he's got some big scores. He's got 81, 65s, but a couple of big scores. Actually, it's not too bad, okay? 11 to 15, these are these scores. We didn't have... Shrek wasn't playing, all right? So he missed these scores. And then 15 to 18, when he came back, he scored a 30, 64, 93. Scores are okay, all right? They're not bad. But at 620k... they're not really massive, but they're not that bad. You could almost consider him, I suppose. But without Shrek, he goes nuts. This is the problem. With Shrek, the scores aren't the same. So he's going to be up and down. Now, Shrek doesn't mean that Shrek's going to miss no more games. So Shrek could be out again, okay? So we don't know what Shrek's going to do. So when Shrek is out, he can still go to 120s again. But when Shrek's back, okay, expect some low scores. So he's going to be up and down like a yo-yo. So you're going to rely on news of Shrek, whether he's playing or not, and that 600k that you spent on Jackson, especially at this time of the year, you can have that money spent on let's say a gun midfielder who may go consistently at 120s, 130s. All right, you can have a Butters, or you can have well, there's a lot of them. Okay, you can have the Greens and the Butters that are going consistently big. So the money spent elsewhere probably is a better deal right now than because at the moment you're trying to manage your money and spread it out evenly. So Jackson, even though it looks good now, I'm not sure about what he's going to look like in the future. That's the problem. And then we go to Sarong. Now that's what I'm talking about. If I'm going to spend $550 on Jackson, I'd rather spend $620 on Sarong. Okay, spend the extra, find the extra $70k. And I know it's a different position, but it doesn't matter. You're trying to even out your whole team. Okay, so money spent on Sarong is worth because you can get this score every week from Sarong. You don't have to worry about Shrek coming back. If anything, when Shrek comes back, Sarong's going to be even better. That's the funny thing. So Sarong's a jet. I brought him in this week. I'm so happy. Okay. 35 touches, 15 contested possession. This is the part I like about my midfielders, the contested. 15 contested. Look at Powell. 9 contested. So Sarong is a beast in that midfield. Now, I want to go to talk about Luke Ryan. And last week, I traded in both Sarong and Luke Ryan. And look what they gave me, 141 and 127. Huge scores. Luke Ryan scores for fun. Okay, he had 19 kicks and 4 handballs. Okay, that's nuts. And those 4 handballs, he got 5 points each for those. They were loose ball gets in defence because he's a spare man. Okay, so if the ball goes behind the pack, okay, he's a spare. All the other tall forwards go up. He just sort of waits down, gets the spare ball and passes it on to Clark. Okay, and Clark just runs. So Luke Ryan is a scoring machine, and he didn't have a big game. He just had an average game, and he still went nuts. So Luke Ryan, for me, is a top 4, top 3 defender, all right? And right now he's a good price. He's going to go up massive. Now, Brayshaw, I'm still concerned about, even though he's got a 123. I don't think many have him, but I wouldn't target him, okay? Although he had a massive second half last week, huge. Now, I've been asked about Clark, and Clark, let's have a look at him. Now, Clark's priced at 461k. It's an awkward price, very awkward. However, he's played 2 games, and his average, here it is, he's averaging 113. That's massive. So he's going to go up in value. The problem with Clark is he a keeper? That's a question. Is he the best? Top 6? Probably not top 6. Then the next question is he going to make a lot of money? Okay, is he a cash cow? Probably not. Let's say he goes at projected scores of 110. He's going to make you probably an extra 80k. Probably not enough. Not even 80, 60k. That's not enough, okay, for a trade. So he's in no man's land. Not top 6, and not enough money he's going to make. And if you look at his heat maps, okay, let's go here. Is this Clark? All right, this is Clark. Now, he's had a role change from the looks of it, all right? That's not Clark. Okay, this one's Clark. Here we go. He's had a role change. Halfback flank is where he used to play last year, and this year he's gone to the back pocket. Now, in the back pocket, he's had 20 kicks and 8 handballs, 17 kicks, so he's going 28, 24. He's getting his touches, okay, and efficiency is very good. Where's the efficiency? 88%, 89%. Very, very efficient, okay. Takes a few of the kick-ins. But what was his role last year? I mean, he was scoring well last year as well. But he had a few bad games. It's just that he's not the top 6. You want the best now, all right? His role is good enough. If you've got him, it's not the worst that can happen, okay? There is a lot worse. But I'd rather get, I don't know, he could break out, okay, but it's probably a pass for me. But it's not the worst thing if you do have him, all right? Because not everyone has 600k spare. But yeah, at the moment it's a pass for me. We now go further down and we go to Nat Fife. And now he'll subbed out. Sore back, something I heard along the lines of a sore back or something. So 20 touches till three-quarter time. That's good scoring also. 70 points, includes a goal in there though, so probably about 60 points. Is that enough? I'm not sure. Okay, take the goal out. He doesn't kick goals every week. Take that out. Probably looking around about, say, a 58 till three-quarter time. Probably looking about a 90 odd. With the risk of him being subbed out every week, which I also showed you last week in that article in the West Australian. So I'm not sold on Fife. It's a bit scary to have him, okay, especially if he's going to get subbed out and score a 69 with a goal included. So I don't know. If you've got him, just got to hold another week, all right? You can't trade him out. He's going to actually make money, so you have to hold him. At least make your money, then trade him out. But then we go further down. Sharp. Now, he scored a 70 last week and a 63 this week, so he's a good rookie to have. Not a must-have. If you don't have him, it's not the end of the world, okay? There are probably equivalent rookies out there, so it doesn't matter. He's not a must-have, but if you've got him, it's good to have. Whereas Young, you've got a problem, all right, with Young. Last week, contested possessions was 6. How much is it this week? 7. Okay, so it's midfielders, contested possessions 15. This one's got 7 in the same team. He's on the outside more than the inside. They want to feed him the ball, but then he has this problem: 8 clangers. Last week it was 11. This week, so in 2 weeks he's had 19 clangers. Alarm bells. Okay, so for me, it's a pass on Young. You virtually trade out. That's what I did last week. I saw the alarm bells. I rang them, and I got rid of him. Just come down. Anyway, you have to get rid of him. And last of all, we go to Draper, 35. Just watch him another week, okay? He's got job security, but doesn't look like he's going to score that much. All right, let's keep an eye on him. We now go over to Hawthorn and Melbourne. And this was a weird game, okay? A really, really weird game, okay? I've actually seen nothing like it before. Now, Sicily, 123 Supercoach points. He's back, okay? Now, we expected this from Sicily from the start. They pushed him further up the ground. He had more of the touches. He was running around, the normal Sicily stuff. But what concerned me was the amount of free ball that he was getting, passing it on to him. They were all in the back line, just Scrimshaw, they just all went nuts in the back line. It was actually crazy. I don't like the way Hawthorn's playing right now, and these scores, to me, are misleading, because they can change at any minute. They can change the way they play, because the way they're playing now, they're going backwards, okay? It's terrible to watch. They're playing kick in the back line. Okay, Melbourne just let them. Okay, you play kick, give it back to us. We'll just take the ball, kick a goal. It's just crazy the way there's no method. There's nothing. So they can't play this way all year. All right, it's just ridiculous. So forget about Sicily. The player I want to talk about is Ambrosio. Okay, 23 touches. Most of them will be uncontested. Well, contested position 7, okay, so still okay. 7's not bad. 3 clangers, low break even, playing mainly on the wing is what I've looked at, okay? A little bit of halfback and wing. His heat map last week looked a lot better than this week, but still, I'm sold on him. I don't think he's a must-have. Yes, break even is minus 75, okay, but there are players, rookies, that have break-evens of minus 40 and minus 50. Okay, does it make a difference? If you've got Ambrosio at D5 or D6, it's okay. Okay, I'll take it. But if you got Ambrosio at D4, I don't recommend it. You need to have at least a yo there at D4. Ambrosio, for me, it's a luxury. All right, I don't think it's a necessity. Again, 87 is a good score, but you can have a player like Warner coming back next week for Freo, who scored 70 till three-quarter time. He could score similar to Ambrosio, but at half the price. And if you've got Zach Williams already, you're not going to trade. Zach Williams is probably the same as Ambrosio. So I'm not sure what to do with Ambrosio at the moment. But if you've got him, you're going to make cash, okay? And he's going to score your points. But how long is this going to keep up for? The way that Hawthorn played, how long is it going to last? I don't understand it. You see Weedle here, scored 91. Same thing. They just make the kick, the whole lot of them, okay, in defence. It's ridiculous. Amon is actually surprising me, 82 only. He should be more than 82 playing the kick in the back line. But all their scorers are defenders, okay? There's no one else. Even the midfielders can't score because Hawthorn defence just play kick the kick. Actually, going to the midfielders, Newcomb, 66. I mean, the way Hawthorn play, you can't have a midfielder scoring points. It's just a ridiculous game style. So if you got Newcomb, alarm bells, okay? I don't blame Newcomb. I blame the system at Hawthorn because he doesn't get a chance to score because they're hogging it in the back line. So Newcomb, get rid of him, okay? Because Hawthorn, they've got to change the way they play. Going further, there's nobody else at Hawthorn, okay? There's only virtually Newcomb, Sicily, and Ambrosio right now, the main talking targets, and Amon. But Amon is not doing the job, okay? So if you've got an Amon, maybe cut your losses and let him go. Let's go to Melbourne. Petrarca, if you got him, Jets. Petrarca, Mr. Reliable. Always does the right things. So, they have to talk about him. Gawn, he's back, okay? 113, and Hawthorn are hard to score against, and he still went on 113, so he did good. I was expecting more from him, because I had him as vice-captain, maybe upset, just come down! Anyway, going further down, there's not much to look at here. I mean, if you've got Viney, he's going at 107. It's not enough. It is enough, 107. 60 fantasy points. He's not a big scoring. He's only had 21 touches, so he's not really one of those top 8 midfielders. Going further down, Clayton Oliver, okay? 82, his price is dropping, okay? So that's what we need. We need him to drop more. So we'll see how he goes. Now, Salem is a no good, okay? 77, it's not enough. Although he did have 105 fantasy points, he didn't convert it to Supercoach points. So, probably cut your losses with Salem as well. This is the interesting one, Jack Billings. This is why I wanted to see him for another week. I wanted to see 2 weeks out of him because he wasn't going to have 15 marks like he did against the Dogs. Now, Jack Billings only took 4 marks this week. Now, why are marks so important? Well, that's uncontested possessions. That's marks that he took that were uncontested. Last week, 15 of them, which is 3 possessions for him, an extra kick. Only had 4 this week. And when you don't get that uncontested possession, you only score a 69. So, Billings, alarm bells. Okay? That's why, as I said, I wanted to see him 2 weeks in a row. Howes is a lock. He's made you cash as well, so you'll be happy. It's too late to jump on now, but if you've already had him, you're laughing, okay? Very good boy, House. Now, going down, Windsor, last week he got subbed out. This week, I don't know, I watched his game, it actually looked better than a 40, so I don't understand why he only got 40. He must have done something wrong. What did he do to get 40? 68% disposal efficiency. No tackles. I'm sure he tackled. Okay, it says no tackles. I could have sworn I said at least 1 or 2 tackles. So, anyway, he's not going to be that rookie they were expecting. And Hall only played for 1 quarter, or a little bit longer, 42%, so a bit more than a quarter and a half. He didn't score much, Supercoach, but he did do well in fantasy. So, Stephen May apparently is out for 2 weeks. Okay, I'm sure it's going to be longer than that. And they're saying Lever might even play. So Hawk could still be a question mark. So we'll see how that goes. We now go over to Sydney versus Essendon. And at Sydney, I'll forget about Papley, all right, because not Supercoach relevant. But Goulden, 149. Now keep in mind, Goulden's first half, he was okay, but it wasn't going this good. He did all this in the second half. He went nuts. Kicked 2 goals. Virtually best player on the ground, Goulden. And Isaac Heaney, another big game, 128, and he started slow, and still a big game. He's made 60k in that 1 week. I can see him playing this role all year. He's one of those players you need to have. Okay, you've missed the cheap price if you haven't got him yet. You missed out on the 490k, but at 550k, he's still a bargain, I think. So one more price rise, and then the bargain range goes out. He's no longer a bargain then. Now, Grundy, 99, 30 hitouts, 10 contested, 6 clangers, 57% disposal efficiency. He's okay, but I like Sherry a lot more than I like Grundy. He looks slow, Grundy. Something looks like he's aged a lot quicker than I would have imagined. So I'm not sure on Grundy. Started slow this game as well. Then he picked up. But again, I can't see Grundy being that 130s man all year. That's about his going rate, 99. And he played against Essendon. I mean, Draper is hard to score against, I understand, but still, Draper's hardly played a game. He got subbed out. Now, Matt Roberts is a Jet, okay, and he's going to have forward defensive status. So if you've got him, you've done very well. Jordan scored an 88. He wasn't doing that well. I can't wait to get rid of him, to be honest. He's going to become... He worries me. He's not a bargain. I paid 300k for him. He's not cheap. And he's doing the job for now. Okay, 88's are good, but kicked that goal to get to 80. He was on 80. All right, kicked the goal last minute, went to 88. So very lucky. But Jordan, I'm not sure. I'm not sold. He's okay, but not must have. Now, is there anyone else here that's Supercoach relevant? Let's have a look. Well, there's one player here you need to keep an eye on, and that's Cunningham. He scored an 85 and an 84 or an 80 something, like 280 mid-80 scores round 1 and round 0, and now he's subbed out. He's 330k or something, and he's going to drop to around about 250, maybe 240k. Keep an eye on him. Could make some cash later on if he drops further down. So we'll see how he goes for points, but just watch him. Doesn't mean you've got to have to get him. Just watch. Keep an eye on him when he comes back. Now, we go to Essendon. And the Spud is having a massive season right now. Okay, the con artist is at 126. He had a big game last week, another big game this week. And Shark Island did wonders for him, okay, when I sent him there. It's a reform group called the Spuds, okay, Shark Island. And he's come back. He's back to legendary status right now, Satterfield, but don't get him, okay? It's a pass. Now, Zach Merritt, we all know, so Jet, all right, 132. He's just a Jet. Kicked 2 goals, though, but still, he's a Jet. Now, going down the order here, Nick Martin. This was an easy game for him, okay, because there was no... he had a few players missing. A lot of the players at Essendon are going to come back soon, okay? You got Ridley coming back soon. He scored a 93, 20 kicks, 11 handballs, holding up that midfield spot that the players are scoring 130s, 140s, some are scoring 170s. He's holding one of those key spots. You don't want to have a Nick Martin scoring 93 in that key spot. Okay, you need a player scoring 130 plus in the key spot. He's a no good for me. Okay, he's not a top 6 defender. He's not a top 8 midfielder. All right, so what is he? Okay, so what he is a spud. That's what Nick Martin is. Just cover down. He's not good. So I think part ways with him. Now, going further down, is there anyone else that's Supercoach relevant? I don't think so. There was a player last week who was Perkins. Everyone was talking about. Only scored 73 this week. So that's what happens when you wait. You can see. Sometimes scores aren't consistent, and Perkins doesn't have a record of being consistent high scorer. That's why you got to be careful of some players that you expect to break out. They don't always break out, and that's a perfect example, which is Perkins. We now go to the Dogs and Gold Coast. Now, Tim English did what Tim English normally does. Scored a 138, having a big season, as usual. We expected it. Played against Gold Coast, so what did you expect? Now, the Bont scored 136. They're big points, okay? Very nice. We go down, go to Libba, 115. He's back. Now, take note, in round one, Libba had 1 tackle. Now, and he didn't score many points. Now, this week, Libba had 9 tackles, so his points increased. Libba needs these tackles. Now, Libba had a player like Raul in the team that gets the ball before him so he can tackle him. Okay, so Libba needs to play against players like Raul so he can tackle them. He needs players that can get the ball before he gets the ball. Okay, so that's virtually his bread and butter, the tackling. So Raul and Libba had a day out. It was a match. All right, so they virtually took each other's points. They shared. Raul went at 99. Libba went at 115. And you look at fantasy points, 92, 104. So it's virtually evened out. It was an even game. Actually, if anything, I thought Raul was robbed of his points. But we'll talk about that later on. Now, if you got Libba and you were scared in round one, don't be. I mean, he's a Jet. Okay, so hold him. But the player I want to talk about is Sam Darcy. I want to actually go and look at his heat map. Now, Darcy had 29% CBAs, whereas Tim English had 71%. So Darcy had 1/3 of the centre bounces, which is really good. Now, if you look at Darcy, where did he play? Let's have a look. Where was Darcy playing? We go to Supercoach. We go to heat maps. Okay, he was playing in the forward line. She got all his touches in the forward line virtually, and on the wings, which is probably where he was rucking. Okay, that's probably when English went off, and he was getting the balls. Looks like when he was in the centre bounces, he didn't get a touch. Okay, but when a lot of his touches were in the forward line, so he's more a forward slash ruckman. Okay, so don't expect those big scores every week. Although he's playing against West Coast this week, so you can expect a big score. But then again, we saw Hogan didn't score that well against West Coast, because West Coast, even though they're not like the best team going around right now, they have the best defenders, okay, because that's all they do, they defend. So they got two-gun defenders at West Coast, which prevent the full forwards from scoring, but the midfielders score a lot. So it's something to think about. But Darcy should go at around about an average of, say, 70, okay? And that's not bad for a 123k player. Now, going further down, we look at Sanders, Jets, all right? Last week he was subbed out. When he got subbed out last week, he was on 64 fantasy points at three-quarter time. Now, this week, so last week's game was actually better than this week's game, fantasy-wise, because that was three-quarter time score, whereas a full-time score, he only had 78, only 14 more in the last quarter. Last week, his problem was his disposal efficiency. It was very bad. He had a lot of clangers. This week, he went at 86%. and had a full game. Sanders is a Jet, and you got to have him on field, okay? If you've missed out on Sanders, I think a few people traded him out. Okay, that was a big mistake. Okay, big mistake. I think you have to get him back. And I would honestly, if you traded him out, bring him back in. Okay, just trust me, just do it. Now, Bramble had a big game last week, decent game this week. He's still is at an awkward price, and 84. It's not for me. Okay, you want either a rookie in defense who can score 60s or 70s that cost cheap, or you want a gun primo. You want nothing else. These 300k players are out of your range now. You start with them, but you don't bring them in. Okay, so pass on Bramble. Now, Baku Kamis, 65. I mean, that's what I'm saying. 123k. You can get a 65. Why pay 300k for 20 points more? Okay, so just get the 65 and take it. Now, That's pretty much it with Western Bulldogs. Caulfield got injured. Looks like it's going to be a long injury. So for those that have Caulfield, very unfortunate. Okay, we have problems in that back line. Reed, Caulfield, Gibcus, it doesn't stop. Anyway, let's go to Gold Coast. Now, Took Miller is having a season out, but we expect nothing less. 115, a huge score for Took Miller. Not massive, but it's good enough. That's going to be his average. He's a Jet. Flanders, 102. It was a tough ground for him to score on, and it was a tough opposition, the Dogs, and they were getting smashed. Okay, so Raul really liked his game. Okay, it doesn't show that on the Supercoach points. 15 contested possessions. He had 4 clangers, 16 handballs. I think he got robbed, okay, and probably got robbed. Probably the scoring was a bit low because they were getting smashed, so he wasn't getting rewarded in full for his efforts. Because in Supercoach, they give you points if you do something that helps change the team's momentum. Well, Gold Coast had no momentum, so there was nothing that Raul can do to increase his points. So it was a hard ball get and a hand pass. He only got 2 points for it, whereas normally he'll get 5 points for it. So he was losing a lot of points, or not gaining the points that he should be gaining on this game. This was a 120 game for Raul that he only got 99 on. And I was very disappointed when I saw the scoring. I was so upset. Anyway, if you keep going down, you got Fiorini. He's had 2 100s in a row, then an 87. It's a pass again. It's an awkward price, so don't worry about Fiorini. Sexton is a worry, okay? And as well as Buderick, the two of them. If you've got Buderick still, just get rid of him, okay? He's gone. 300k for 46 is disgraceful. And last week it was even worse. That's just his good game. Like, he tripled his last week's score. So forget about Buderick. And Sexton, he's not going to be that rookie that we thought he was going to be. Okay, so but we found others anyway. So these two pretty much have to go. There's no rush on Sexton. He's got to buy anyway. He's going to make some cash. But if you've got problems to fix, for example, Sexton for me is going to be replaced by Darcy on the bubble. Okay, so if you've got no one to take out, Sexton's the one for Darcy later on. Not this week, but next week. We go to Richmond and Port Adelaide. Okay, now Richmond, Liam Baker, 140. That's a trap. Okay, so forget about that. Taranto, Taranto's not the same Taranto we saw last year. Okay, so Taranto, 100. It's not enough. Campbell, 80 Supercoach points. Campbell is a Jet. He reminds me of an early stage of those Port guns. He reminds me of this boy here, the way he plays. Where is he? Rosie. Reminds me of Connor Rosie a bit. That he's got that sharpness about him. He's very sharp, very quick. So he's going to be like a Rosie from what I'm seeing. So Campbell's going to be a Jet further down. Okay, he's just into his first season, and if you've started only 10% own Campbell, if you're one of those 10%, you've got a Jet in your hands. Okay, you can expect these. He missed a lot of goals. He could have scored 100 easily. There was 2 goals he missed that should have been kicked. So this score of 80 could have been 100. Dusty, unfortunately, he's become a grandpa. Okay, so Dusty, we're going to have to pass on again. Trezise, I did note at halftime he was on 47, and I put up a tweet, but finished on 69. Probably going to be a pass. Job security is a problem, so don't worry about Trezise. If you got Short, you need to get rid of him. The way Richmond play doesn't suit Short because Richmond forwards all press up, they defend. All their wingers press up, they defend. So what happens is when Short has the ball coming out of defence, he's got no one to kick it to. Okay, so he just kicks it long, just bombs it. And the problem is that's where 66% disposal efficiency comes in because he's got no targets. So Short is not good. That's pretty much it for Richmond. There's no one else to really talk about. Okay, Lafau, 102k rookie, he's not going to make money. He's not going to score many points. Now we're going to Port Adelaide, And Butters had a day out. Okay, if you're an owner of Butters, you can be a very happy boy. But you got to understand, he played Richmond. Richmond are very. He had 7 clearances. Wines had 10 clearances. Remember, the Weapon had 20 clearances against Richmond. So, but they don't score you points. They possessions do. Kicked a goal at half time. He faked a 50-metre penalty and he got a goal from it. He scored. His score skyrocketed. Okay, and then he kicked on from there. Willem Drew is a problem. He's taking up all of Ollie Wines' spot in the midfield because Willem Drew was tagging Taranto and he was stealing points from Wines. Now, if this continues, Wines is a major issue. So if you got Wines still, just hold him a bit longer if you have to. If you get rid of him, it's not a problem because Ken Hinkley told us Wines was going to have a lot of midfield time. Well, I haven't seen it yet, okay? It's the same time as last year. He's had nothing. Anyway, Kane Farrell is a 430k defender, and he's virtually got the same role as Houston. They're the same thing. Houston and Farrell are doing the same job. They're scoring the same every week. Actually, if anything, Farrell is having more of the kick-ins. I'm really liking Kane Farrell. Not as a keeper, but so that's the problem with Farrell. It's the awkward price, 430k. What are you going to do with him? Okay, so he's not the best going around, and he's only scoring the 100s. Probably a pass, but if you've got him, he's doing a really good job. Okay, now if you go further down, Rosie. I mean, he had 116 Dream Team fantasy points, same as Butters. Butters had 117 fantasy. Rosie had 116. Butters scored 175 Supercoach. Rosie scored 90. Now, you can see the difference there. It's massive. So, this game was a close game at one stage, even though it doesn't show it. It was a close game. Butters did all the right things at the right moments. And that's what boosted Butters' score. When he gave the goal assist, they all came at the right time. Kicked that goal at half time. It came at the right... Everything worked for Butters. This could have easily been Rosie scoring the 175 and Butters scoring the 90. Okay, it was virtually the same game. Rosie had 17 kicks, 11 handballs. That's 30 touches. Butters has 15 kicks, 9. There's not much difference. It's virtually the same thing, except Butters, he melted the opposition. Okay, that's what happened. Now, there's no one else to take note of, fantasy-wise or Supercoach-wise here. Mead is a pass. Okay, let's go to the next game. We now go over to West Coast and GWS. Now, I don't know why they call it GWS. It should be WSG. Okay, why is it GW? Why is it Giants Western Sydney? Why can't they say it WSG? Okay, it makes me confused when I have to look at this and say, where's the G here? So anyway, it's WSG and West Coast. Okay, now, at West Coast... Elliot Yeo. I want to talk about Elliot Yeo. He had 20 touches at half time. 19 touches it was at half time. Well, after half time, he didn't have much more. He finished on, 27. So he had 8 more touches after half time. And at half time, he was on 60. Still scored 110. Elliot Yeo is back. Okay, he's come back, tackling hard. And it's very hard to score against WSG. Okay, very hard. But Yo did it well, 110, very happy with him, kicked a goal as well, so, and only won at 55% disposal efficiency, so, and 5 clangers, that score could have been 130, okay, 430k, playing midfield, he's not going to be top 6, but he's doing a good enough job. You wouldn't bring him in now. If you don't have him, you can't bring him in. It's a player you have to start with, because we have that injury risk with Elliot Yeo. That's why I said at the start of the year, you just start with him. Anyway, going further down, there's not many players at West Coast, but we do have Harley Reid. He scored 63. He's a jet, okay? But the problem with Reid is 4 kicks, 13 handballs. He's not a high possession player, 17 touches. I mean, it's not his fault, okay? He can't get the ball, or he can't play by himself against a gun team. He didn't have much. I mean, there was only Yo that was helping. Duggan looked okay. But Reid, 200k rookie scoring 60s when you got 123k rookies scoring 60s. There's a big difference, okay? You're better off getting these 123k rookies. That's why I didn't start with Reed. I didn't start McKercher for the same reason. I just wanted to see him, which one is better. And if they were both good, I was going to get them both. But it works out that Reed is good, but not for Supercoach. He's good as a player to watch, okay? But I'm not sure in Supercoach. Maybe further down the track, if you've got him, you're going to make cash, okay? So don't panic. Just hold him. Just come a deal. You've got job securities there. Everything is there. He's going to make a 150k. Not a problem. It's just that you could have spent that money elsewhere, okay? But you haven't done nothing wrong by starting him. And that's pretty much it for West Coast. Surprisingly enough, they don't have many rookies playing. And for a team that's rebuilding, you'd expect to have a lot more rookies than what they've got. Now, going over to Western Sydney Giants, Briggs had a good game, but he played West Coast, okay? So imagine Briggs scoring 139. Imagine what Bulldogs are going to do to West Coast with their midfield, with their ruckman and their midfield. Now, you got Tom Green, 137 and 58% disposal efficiency. Okay, imagine if you went 70%. Okay, just a little bit better, 70%. That 137 could have been a 157. So Green's a Jets. Lockie Whitfield is a Jets. Possible top 6 this year. Okay, I have him ahead of Sinclair right now. So he's fighting with Houston for the top 6 spot. If you've started Harvey Thomas, 2 scores of 40s and then a 107, that came out of nowhere. Okay, so but then again, we could have expected it playing against West Coast, and that's only 1 goal. Kicked 1 goal and scored a 107. That's nuts. Got a Cadman, 90. Okay, he was on 80, but took a sensational mark, kicked the goal on the siren in the last quarter, got 10 points for that, went to 90, very happy. Going further down, Himmelberg this year is a pass, okay? I don't think many have got him anyway. And Jesse Hogan, now that was disappointing for the owners. Everyone brought him in, well, not people that did bring him in this round, brought him in because he's going to play against West Coast. It didn't work out. That's why these are big gambles. If it paid, he could have scored 150, all right? And you would have got 100 extra points, and it would have paid off big time. Extra 50k you would have made out of him. But it didn't work out that way. That's what the gambling part is, okay? That's the risk versus reward. Now, this week, we scored a 2020. Okay, is not bad. Okay, I'm very happy with the 2020. Well, I wouldn't say I'm happy. Okay, but I'm not sad because it was looking a lot worse than 2020. At one stage, it was looking at 1600s. Okay, well, it started on Thursday night. It looked at my projection 1670 or something. So it looks really bad. But it picked up. I saw a lot of people looking at 2100s or 2050s, and I was looking at 1910 or 1920. I was getting depressed, but the last day, GWS game saved me, okay? So, especially Cadman with that big score. So my score went up to 2020, but I had a lot of players on the bench, that high-scoring players. Well, I had Sanders on the bench. I had Campbell on the bench. So I had a lot of points on the bench. I actually added it up. I had 120 points extra that I could have gotten if I put those players on fields, which would have given me 2140. Okay, so it was a big difference in player selections. Now we got, believe it or not, for 2020 we went up the ranks by 19. So we're now ranked 5,196. We're 100 points off being ranked in the top 300s. So it's not that far off. Virtually, if I had fixed my bench, I'd be in the top 300s. So we're not doing that bad this year. Okay, so this year's a bit better than last year. Same time last year, I was ranked 50,000. So there's a big difference. Anyway, we're going to go through my team tomorrow. And I'll go through all that tomorrow and work out what I want to do, because I haven't decided what I want to do yet. So, and it's very confusing. I've got too many options. We're going to work it out tomorrow. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for joining. And remember one thing. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Ciao for now.
That's all, folks.